First, before I start, as I welcome you, I would like to introduce the high table. Then from there, I will run down the program guide for you for the engagements today. We don't intend to be here for the whole day, but I think the engagement will be very much interactive as far as the validation is concerned. First, I would like to acknowledge the presence of our program manager, Mr. Ismail Abaji, who is here with us. Ismaila, you are welcome. And then from there, I would like to acknowledge the presence of our finance and admin manager, Mrs. Jacqueline SM Silva. Jacqueline also is with us here for this engagement. And from there, our able deputy director, Berry Job, also is here with us. Berry, you are welcome. And I have our able consultant who developed this training manual for us, a draft manual that we are about to review, representing Open Media Center. Kewa Jeffan, you are welcome to this validation workshop. And finally, I would like to also acknowledge the presence of our able executive director, Mr. Alaji Jaju, who is here with us to grace the opening ceremony. And also, if he is not much busy, he'll be part of the validation process to at least see what the young people will input or omit from the document. From there, I have some of my colleagues here with us, the staffs of NYC. They are all welcome to this important validation too, and the participants concerned. Then from there, I would like to allow our able deputy director to give us a welcoming statement. That is Mary Job. Mary, you are welcome.
The media staffs of the institutions is for all of us to be on the same platform and to be sharing the same information, as well as the youth groups. So on behalf of the director and other colleagues, I welcome you all to this one-day validation. Thank you.
Thank you so much, our able deputy executive director, for the warm welcome. As she rightly said, the media information literacy manual is supported by UNESCO Dakar. They supported NYC to develop a training manual on media information literacy. Most of you have been taking part in media information literacy trainings that UNESCO have conducted for CSOs and other organizations. But as per our mandate for the National Council, the apex body for young people, we decided to seek support from UNESCO to develop a training manual, because we cannot be conducting trainings always, but we need to have a guide. That is the manual that will guide the training in terms of media information engagement. So that is why we have this support from UNESCO Dakar office to develop a manual, and we contracted a consultancy, Open Media Center, to develop give us a draft to develop the manual for us. That is why we are here today to validate the document. We want it to be all inclusive. That is why we invited all the youth organizations that are registered, national organizations that are registered with NYC, and also the satellite institution under the Ministry of Youth and Sports, more especially their communications officers, because this media information literacy directly deals with communications. But the reason for us for developing this manual is to see how best we can combat hate speech and also strengthen the social cohesion that is within ourselves. So that is the reason basically for the development of this manual. After the development of the manual, there will be engagements, there will be trainings that will be using this manual to train our national or grassroots organizations on the manual, like the content in the manual. For them also to be, there will be TOT. After the TOT, they'll be also using the manual to conduct step-down trainings at their various communities. So that is why it is important for us to at least be very much attentive and also take part, read the content as much as possible and give our input. Because if we didn't give our input as per what we want, if we validate the document, that will be the final document that we are going to use. That is why we invited you here, for it to be very much consultative, for it to be very much participatory. So try to take part as much as possible. So thank you so much, Deputy Director. From there, I think I'll now invite the able consultants representing the consultancy firm to also give us a statement because they have been working tirelessly. I didn't give them chance to ensure that we have this document. You cannot imagine, I gave them this tax within 2 weeks and they come up with the draft. So I think we need to give them a round of applause for that. So thank you so much, Open Mic Media Center, for giving us a draft. So I'll now allow you to give a statement, and from there we'll have a big engagements with them as per the presentation that we'll be doing later. Jeffan, Keba, it's all yours.
My name is Keba Jeffan. I work with Open Media Center. Open Media Center, maybe most of you wouldn't know Open Media Center. Maybe what you will know is Malagan. But Open Media Center is the publisher of Malagan. So, and then this Open Media Center, what we do, while Malagan focuses on investigative journalism and also monitoring media content to, fact check and, so on, Open Media Center focuses on training people on media literacy. So that's the difference. I hope the name the name becomes very popular today. From today, onward, the media are here, and I believe they're gonna carry this. To create that visibility for the center as well. Yeah, so it's a pleasure actually to be awarded this contract by the National Youth Council. Maybe perhaps it shows that, it recognizes the work that we've been doing along media monitoring and media literacy issues. We normally do this through what we call Malagan Media Monitoring and Fact Checking, which I am the head of. This unit at Malagan was established in 2021 when the election was coming, with the understanding that the country was facing a very critical time. That is the most contested election in the history of the Gambia. So we knew that there was always going to be that we knew that there is always going to be that problem, that proliferation in terms of media content, disinformation, and hate speech. So we launched this platform to do this. After launching the platform in 2021 up to now, we decided to do more, because we know that, in terms of fact checking, the disinformation and misinformation out there or flagging hate speech, it will go beyond the work of Malagan. So what we've been doing along that way is to, train other people. And we do that, by training a lot of journalists through this Open Media Center we are talking about today. We do this at Malagan, where we invite media practitioners from different media outlets to train them on fact-checking and media, and hate speech issues, so that they will be able to flag these issues. So perhaps it's out of this recognition, NYC picked on us to do this event, to do this curriculum for them. So thank you so much for that, Alaji. Yeah, so the document we are going through, like Omar said, it was prepared within a very short period of time. This is why we were able to produce a very rough draft. And this draft is intended that, the participants like you would join us today to go through, the various, disciplines, that are contained in the manual. The manual is containing like 8 modules, and each of these modules are very, very important. They talk about the issues of media literacy, they talk about the issue of information literacy, they talk about the issues of digital literacy. These are all three different disciplines that are quite very important in the work we do as journalists, but also in the public sector because of the social media issues that we have. While journalists are restricted, professional wise through, the various codes of ethics that we have, preventing us from, practicing certain irresponsible kind of reporting, the public is not having that restriction. We see that on social media, and that is why this thing is targeting young leaders, youth leaders across the country. So the idea is we're gonna train them on digital, how to use internet, how to be safe online, against all this cyberbullying that we have, but then how to also restrict your own, footprint digital footprint that we have on social media, on the internet. People use internet, but then we know that most of the people, most of the users are not okay with the dangers. They don't know much about the dangers of digital footprint they are living on the internet. So this is why we develop these modules in that respect, to be able to guide the users of the internet, so that they know how to act online, and then how to be responsible against hate speech issues that we see rising all the time. So the objective of some of the objectives of this manual, when we are developing, we had in mind that participants needed to understand literacy around information, digital, and then information, and then the difference between these things. These things are two connected, but they are two also different. People usually blame all the fault on journalists, for example, but then there is a gap between journalism and there's a gap difference between news and commentary. There's a difference between news and opinions. So these are all issues this thing would raise the awareness of the participants on. We also envisage that this manual would help the trainers, that is training of trainers, to understand, to have a very substantive understanding of data privacy and security. Because like I said, we all use internet, but then it's difficult to avoid your footprint. You don't know, like anytime you go to the internet, you are leaving your digital footprint there. So what this footprint is going to be used, or how this is going to be used against you have no idea about it. But then there are ramifications of it. So that's why we will raise your understanding. That's one of the objectives. And then online safety, how to be protected online, how to avoid certain confrontations online, how to protect your privacy. All these social media sites that we have, they all having these various privacy restrictions, but people don't know, most of the people don't know them. So it's important that we take you through some of these, we take the training of the trainers through some of these things, so that they understand. So also the general understanding of the media, also the mainstream media, and then we will also draw that distinction between mainstream media and social media. Like I said earlier, a lot of blames have been going on the media. Some of them are not to be blamed. They don't deserve to be blamed in that respect. But that is because of the public understanding, the limited understanding the people have in trying to put context to differences between the social media and the mainstream media. So the issue of photographs, that will take me to the fact-checking area. The issue of photographs, your photos, how protected they are, how they are to be used, and how they can be manipulated to mean certain things that you don't intend to mean. So all these things are covered in the program. And maybe also we talk about the sexting. This is another new area, phenomenon that we've been seeing. A lot of people have been caught, in trying to do things that bring embarrassment to them. Some of these things, like sharing your nude pictures with certain people, and then how you are also lured into it, by clicking a very few links to do it. So we are going to take you through all those important areas. So these are the outlines of the manual that we will be discussing here today. And I hope that all of you, as I present this document, will join me to look at these thematic areas, with a critical eye, to help us, to improve the documents. The document is a draft. The idea of you being here is to take us through, or we take you through each of these disciplines, and then what you feel is missing, that should be added there, so that we improve this document. The finalized document would be used by National Youth Council, but maybe not only National Youth Council would be using this thing. This can be used by any other person, because It is meant for National Youth Council, made for them because they're contracted, but the document is there, which you can access and then, raise your own understanding on these issues, especially cyber security issues and privacy, hate speech and disinformation. These are, special columns or special modules in this manual that are very, very important for this whole exercise, because the whole idea of it is to understand, make people understand about their digital safety, about spreading disinformation, and also I forgot to mention the different forms of this information disorder that we have. That is disinformation, misinformation, and malinformation. What are all these things? We're gonna explain, in detail what they mean, and then how to avoid, being found wanting on them. And also the media landscape of the Gambia that we have, but also the media laws that we have. Some of these media laws are not only applicable to media houses that we have in the Gambia. Most of them are equally applicable to social media users. And it's important that we all understand that, so that we protect ourselves. We don't post certain things there that will go and hunt us tomorrow. They will come and then arrest you for it without knowing it. So it's important that we know all these things, and then this document seeks to provide that aspect of understanding of the trainers. Thank you.
Thank you so much. This manual. It was very complicated, very, very complicated. But I think for us, as he rightly said, for us, we were thinking, we never knew there is open media mic.
Open media center.
Open media center. We are thinking it's Malagan. So we are using the name Malagan. He made us understand is open media center. So that's the I think the bigger picture. So Malagan is under it. So thank you so much for making us understand. And the document, as he said, is divided or categorized into 8 modules. So, but we'll at least dwell in all these modules, module by module, and see what are some of the elements that we want to include, or what are some of the elements that we want to remove from the document. So all those things will be dealt with today, as he said. Thank you so much. Jefan, and extend our greetings to the entire staff of Open Media Center. From here, I think now I will now invite our able executive director to give us the officially opening statement for this important validation that we are about to kickstart. Mr. Director, you are welcome. It's all yours.
Thank you very much, Omar, the Master of Ceremony. A warm good morning to all of you, NYSC staff, those of us from the youth groups, those from our satellite or sister agencies under the Ministry of Youth and Sports, our friend Keba from the Open Media Center, the lead consultant in the development of this manual, our friends from the media who have always helped in amplifying our voices. Warm good morning to all of you, and thank you very much for coming to attend this very important validation exercise that we are here today. And I'm deeply honored to really preside over the opening component or the opening part of this validation exercise, that is validating a media information literacy manual, and this is with the support of the UNESCO office in Dakar. This validation is significant for many reasons, and this include by no means the fact that we have ensured that this, or the participants that we have, we've included all the necessary or all the important institutions or organizations that we work with that we think are essential in really helping us to combat hate speech and, of course, combating misinformation, something that we know, in our country over the past years, has been a reoccurring and has been a concern for all of us. The Gambia, like many African countries, has a youthful population, as young people under the ages of 35 constitute more than 65% of our population. Undoubtedly, they also form the bulk of internet users, especially social media in the country. With no education on media and information literacy, and with easy access to internet, young people are especially prone to taking decisions and action based on wrong information consumed online or sharing this information most of the time unknowingly. Information is shared to us, or we see information online, and the first thing we happily do is to either share, and share with others, and the information just keep trending because all of us are sharing, not understanding, that the information was actually not true or is a misinformation, but we are helping in that spread, and that is what most of the time we do. But again, it's because we are not able to identify the fact that this is misinformation or is hate speech. So I think this is going to help us all to be able to identify that. Acquiring MIL or media information competencies, including the knowledge to recognize and debunk hate speech, allow young people to confidently seek or to critically evaluate and contribute to information online and offline. All such competencies allow young people to counter hate speech and fake news, which are important in our effort to building peace in the Gambia. Through this project, the National Youth Council, as the umbrella body for youth organizations in the Gambia, will work with UNESCO in promoting the use of media and information literacy to strengthen the critical capacities of youth organizations, as this is essential for the sustainable development of any nation. After this validation exercise, the intention is to also organize a training of trainers at national level, but to also move it down, to the level of the regions, such that we are able to further enhance the competencies that we have. That it is not just at the central level, but going down, even at the regional level, these competencies, can be found there. But we also want to ensure that part of our youth groups, that this manual can also be mainstream in the work that you do on a daily basis. So once again, I want to thank all of you for coming. But your contribution is essential. The document is, as the consultant said, is not a ready-made document. And that is why we are calling on all of you. And so we give it a critical eye, that it is really reflective of what we want in a media information literacy manual that we are all going to use to further conduct step-down trainings. So give it your critical eye, give it your best shot, take all the time that is needed to ensure you go through the manual and provide feedback, so that the consultant is able to go back and work on the feedback that we provide for him. But I don't think it will be best that from here, the consultant, we are able to, we just give him, a clean bit of health that the document is okay, and is validated. It's important we provide an input, understanding that it is our document. Yes, NYC is going to house the document, but it's going to be for the use of all of us. So please take your time, go through the manual critically, provide your feedback so that the consultant is able to go back and give us a final document that we all want. So once again, thank you very much for coming, and wish you all a very good exercise. And I want to thank all of you for coming and formally open this validation session. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Director, for declaring the session open. I think I need not to elaborate more on what he's just said. I'll just advise us, not you, but I'll advise us to go through the documents after the presentation. We obviously can include anything that you want to be part of the document. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for